Hey, house churches, it's good to be with you as we look back at last Sunday's message. Last Sunday we were talking about our multi-site prayer. That's our prayer that God would use us to establish healthy, vibrant churches in the rural hubs around Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. And so we looked at this short parable that Jesus tells where he says that the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed. It's this small seed, but when it grows, it becomes this great tree, and the birds of the air come and nest in its branches. So the question mark for me came as I was looking at this and realized that mustard seeds don't actually grow into trees. They grow into bushes. And they're not the kind of bushes where you'd see a lot of birds putting nests. So what is Jesus getting at by saying that the seed's going to grow into a mighty tree? Well, the light bulb started to come for me as I dug into it and saw that Jesus is drawing on this Old Testament image that would have been familiar to his early listeners. Sometimes the great empires of the day in the Old Testament, like Babylon, are described as a great tree in the prophets. And the peoples, the nations that they're supposed to be caring for, are described as birds in the branches of that tree. But these empires, this tree doesn't do what it's supposed to do. They get proud and they get self-serving, and so the tree ends up being chopped down. But in the midst of that, God makes this promise that he's going to plant his own tree, a different kind of tree. And this is going to be a tree that's going to grow to the heavens, and it's going to spread throughout the world. And the birds of the air are going to come and find food and nourishment and a home within the branches of this tree. And so the light bulb for me was realizing that this is what Jesus is talking about when he talks about this mustard seed becoming this tree. That this is Jesus' desire for his churches, that they would be places where the birds of the air, people of different ages and stages and races and backgrounds, would all find a place to find nourishment and home and security. That's what Jesus wants our churches to be like, whether they're in Dauphin or Dryden or Neepawa or Portage. And so in a way, we could say that Jesus wants his church to be for the birds. Like that's a phrase we sometimes use to say that something is worthless, but we're flipping it here. Jesus wants his church to be for the birds, wants his church to be places where all these varieties of people find home and nurture and help. So my arrow actually flows out of that then, that if this is Jesus' desire for his church, if this is what his church is supposed to look like, that means that that's what my life is supposed to look like as a part of that church. And so I find myself asking the question, are there birds in my branches? Are there people, are the people of my life finding the kind of welcome and generosity and hospitality that Jesus wants them to experience through me? That's an important question to be asking. And it strikes me as maybe an important question even to be asking as a house church. Are there birds in the branches of your house church? What could you do to extend a welcome for more people to experience the good things that Jesus has for you and to experience those as a part of your house church? So take that into your conversation, and blessings as you meet today.